Sri Sharda Devi and her Divine Play, Chapter 14, page 212. It is interesting to note how these Western women regarded Holy Mother. On 22nd May 1898, Sister Nivedita wrote to her friend, Mrs. Eric Hammond, in London. I have often thought that I ought to tell you about the lady who was the wife of Sri Ramakrishna, Sharada as her name is. To begin with, she is dressed in a white cotton cloth like any other Hindu widow under 50. This cloth goes round the waist and forms a skirt. Then it passes round the body and over the head like a nun's veil. When a man speaks to her, he stands behind her and she pulls this white veil very far forward over her face. Nor does she answer him directly. She speaks to another older woman in almost a whisper. And this woman repeats her words to the man. In this way, it comes about that the master, meaning Vivekananda, has never seen the face of Sharada. Added to this, you must try to imagine her always seated on the floor on a small piece of bamboo matting. All this does not sound very sensible, perhaps. Yet, this woman, when you know her well, is said to be the very soul of practicality and common sense, as she certainly gives every token of being to those who know her slightly. Sri Ramakrishna always consulted her before undertaking anything, and her advice is always acted upon by his disciples. She is the very soul of sweetness, so gentle and loving, and as merry as a girl. You should have heard her laugh the other day when I insisted that the Swami must come up and see us at once, or we would go home. The monk who had brought the message that the master would delay seeing us was quite alarmed at my moving towards my shoes and departed post haste to bring him up. And then you should have heard Sharda's laughter. It just pealed out. And she's so tender. My daughter, she calls me. She has always been terribly orthodox. But all this melted away the instant she saw the first two Westerners, Mrs. Bill and Miss MacLeod, and she tasted food with them. Fruit is always presented to us immediately, and this was naturally offered to her, and she, to the surprise of everyone, accepted. This gave us all a dignity and made my future work possible in a way nothing else could possibly have done. Then you should see the chivalrous feeling that the monks have for her. They always call her Mother and speak to her as the Holy Mother. And she is literally their first thought in every emergency. There are always one or two in attendance on her, and whatever her wish is, it is their command. It is a wonderful relationship to watch. I should love to give her a message from you if you care to send her one. A monk read the Magnificat in Bengali to her one day for me, and you should have seen how she enjoyed it. She really is, under the simplest, most unassuming guise, one of the strongest and greatest of women. Holy Mother and Josephine MacLeod. Miss MacLeod met Holy Mother many times. On one occasion, she went to Calcutta to pay her respects to Holy Mother. She watched as the Indian women devotees bowed down to Holy Mother, touching her feet with their foreheads. Miss MacLeod stood there for a few moments, unable to decide how she should pay her respects. Holy Mother caught her eye and with a slight movement of the hand indicated that Western devotees need not follow the Hindu custom. Miss MacLeod was impressed with the mother's common sense, which she later spoke of as one of her most impressive characteristics. Swami Vivekananda wanted his Western followers to see some other spiritual role models. So one day he sent Mrs. Bull, Mrs. MacLeod, and Nivedita to Kamarhati to meet Gopalma, who had the vision of baby Krishna or Gopala. She received them cordially and kissed them. As she had no other furniture in her room, they sat on her bed. She served them some puffed rice and sweet coconut balls and shared some of her spiritual experiences with them. When they returned to Calcutta, Swamiji said, "Ha, this is the old India that you have seen, the India of prayers and tears, of vigils and fasts that is passing away. Jai Ma."